In today's video, we're reviewing visitors coverage and looking at why it's one of the top options for student travel insurance. What's up, you guys? My name's Ashley, and if you're a student getting ready for study abroad, travel for an internship, or take a semester overseas, this review is going to give you a clear breakdown of what visitors coverage is, what makes it stand out, and whether it's worth choosing for your trip. Let's get into it. So first off, what is visitors coverage insurance? It's an online marketplace for travel insurance. Instead of being an insurance company itself, it connects students and travelers with plans from different providers all in one place. You put in your trip details like your destination, your age, your dates of travel, and whether you're a student or not, and the platform shows you a range of policy options that fit those needs. The company was founded in Silicon Valley and is focused on making the insurance process digital and simple. Instead of visiting multiple insurer websites, you can compare everything on one platform, review benefits side by side, and purchase a policy directly. For students, this means you can quickly find coverage that meets both your visa requirements and your school's health insurance requirements without spending hours trying to decode different insurers' fine print. Visitors coverage offers plans from international students, exchange students, OPT students, and those traveling on J1 or F1 visas. They also carry more general travel medical insurance plans that can be tailored for study abroad, gap years, or short-term cultural programs. The value here is convenience. You aren't locking into one company's products, and you can see multiple options in one place. Now let's dive into some of the key features. The first key feature of visitors coverage is how easy it is to compare policies. For a student, this is a huge benefit because it removes the stress of trying to decode multiple websites or calling different insurers just to get a sense of pricing. Imagine you're preparing to study abroad in Spain for a semester. You have a dozen other things on your plate like housing, class registration, and flights. The last thing you want to do is spend hours digging through the fine print. Visitors coverage lets you enter your information once and instantly see multiple policies side by side. You can compare medical coverage limits, deductibles, and evacuation benefits in minutes. This is going to save you so much time and help you feel confident that you're not missing out on any important requirements. The second feature is that visitors coverage actually specializes in student and visa specific plans. This is more than just a convenience. It can make or break whether your coverage is accepted. For example, students on a J1 visa are required to have a policy that includes at least $100,000 in medical benefits and medical evacuation. If you choose a plan that doesn't meet those standards, your university could reject it, or worse, your visa application could be delayed. Visitors coverage highlights which plans meet those specific requirements so you don't run into problems later. For an F1 student heading to a US college, the same principle applies. Many schools require proof of certain levels of insurance before you can even enroll in classes. Having access to plans designed with those requirements in mind is just going to give you such a peace of mind that you're covered legally and academically. Another feature worth noting is flexibility in coverage length. Unlike some insurers that only sell 6-month or 1-year policies, visitors coverage actually gives you options. If you're attending a short-term language program in France for 8 weeks, you can purchase a policy for just that time. If you're committing to a full academic year in Australia, you can buy a 12-month plan. This flexibility is financially important because it means you're not overpaying for coverage you don't need, and you're not left uninsured if your trip is longer than a few weeks. Students often operate on tight budgets, so being able to choose exact dates of coverage ensures you're paying only for what you'll use. Visitors coverage also provides customer support, which is especially helpful when filing claims feels confusing. While the insurer processes the claim itself, visitors coverage acts as a guide to make sure you're not left figuring out things on your own. For example, let's just say you're studying abroad in Germany and end up in the hospital after an accident. The hospital gives you bills in German. You're not sure which documents you need, and you're already stressed out. Visitor coverage can actually step in to point you toward the insurer's claims portal, tell you what forms to submit, and even follow up if things are taking longer than they should. That extra support can really make the difference between getting reimbursed smoothly and feeling lost in the paperwork. Another strong feature is the ability to add coverage for needs that are particularly relevant to students. Many of the plans available through visitors coverage include benefits like mental health support, maternity care, or coverage for sports and adventure adventure activities. For a student abroad, this is more than a bonus. It reflects real life. Imagine you're studying in Switzerland and decide to join friends for a weekend ski trip. Without adventure sports coverage, you might be on your own if you get injured. With the right add-on, you're protected. Or consider a student who struggles with anxiety and wants the option to see a counselor abroad. Having a policy that includes mental health benefits can make studying overseas feel much more manageable. These extras are designed with student life in mind, and they acknowledge that studying abroad isn't just about sitting in classrooms. It's about exploring and living and sometimes needing support beyond emergency care. And finally, visitors coverage makes documents and proof of insurance immediately available after purchase. This might sound like a small thing, but it's extremely beneficial for students. Universities often require you to submit proof of insurance before you can finalize registration. Visa offices sometimes ask for documentation before issuing travel permits, so having instant access to your certificate means you can move forward without delays. For students juggling multiple deadlines, being able to download and submit that proof immediately is not just convenient, it can make all the difference between being cleared to travel and having to push back your plans. Of course, like any insurance option, visitors coverage has strengths and weaknesses. On the positive side, the platform is extremely convenient. You can see multiple plans in one place, compare them quickly, and buy online in just a few minutes. This is far easier than visiting several different insurance company websites individually. The focus on student-specific plans is also a plus, since many standard travel insurance sites don't specialize in the details that schools and visa programs require. The flexibility in coverage length and the options for extra features like mental health or sports coverage makes it adaptable for different student needs. Customer reviews of the platform often highlight how simple it is to use, how quickly documents are sent after purchase, and how responsive the supportive team is. Now, on the downside, visitors coverage is a marketplace, which means you're not buying insurance from them directly. Once you purchase, the insurer itself handles your policy and your claims. This extra layer can be confusing for some students, especially if they expect visitors coverage to process reimbursements. Another drawback is the number of choices can feel overwhelming if you don't know what to look for. Having 10 different student plans on your screen at once is helpful, but only if you understand the differences in deductibles and coverages. Some students also report that certain plans have exclusions they didn't notice at first, which is why it is so important to carefully read the policy details before purchasing. Another tip is to take all of the policy details, put it in a ChatGPT and say, simplify this for me and make sure I don't miss anything. That way it'll spit out a very carefully curated and easy to understand description of everything. Now, when it comes to pricing, it's going to really depend on the plan, the length of your stay, your age, and your destination. In general, basic student plans can start at just a few dollars a day, while more comprehensive options that include higher medical maximums or adventure sport coverage can cost more. For a semester abroad, this might mean a few $100s total, while a full year of coverage could run into the low thousands depending on the level of protection that you've chosen. What's really important to remember is that student travel insurance is usually more affordable than standard travel insurance for older travelers. And that's because students are typically younger and healthier, so premiums are lower compared to older age groups. That makes it possible to secure strong coverage without breaking the bank. Another factor that impacts cost is whether you choose extra features like wellness, maternity, or sports coverage. If you only need basic accident and illness protection, you're going to pay less. If you want the peace of mind of covering more potential situations, you're going to pay more. The best way to approach it is to decide what's truly necessary for your trip and then choose the plan that balances coverage with price. If you want to check out Visitors Coverage, I've left our link down in the description below. Once you click that link, as you can see, they've got a couple of different options here. So they've got the U.S. Visitors Insurance, International Travel, Medical Insurance, International Student Health Insurance, U.S. Immigrant Insurance, Cruise Insurance. There's so much here. But what is really cool is they have the International Student Health Insurance and the J1 Visa Insurance. So you can go ahead and select whichever one. Then all you'll have to do is enter in a destination and then some traveler information like the day you are going, your home country, and your age, and then it will give you a bunch of different options. Same with international travel, so you can go ahead and enter in the destination, the country of citizenship, the resident home country, and then some traveler information like your name, like your age. You will also put in your start and end date, and then they will populate a bunch of different plans for you. So it's very easy and simple and straightforward, which we love. Just on a personal note, I know how overwhelming it can feel when you're preparing for a trip abroad as a student. Between school requirements, visa paperwork, flights, and housing, adding insurance to the mix feels like one more thing to figure out, but honestly, it's so worth it. The right policy means you don't have to worry about paying out of pocket if something happens, and you'll know you're covered for emergencies that could otherwise become very stressful and expensive. The good news is that Visitors Coverage makes the process way less intimidating. Instead of sifting through dozens of sites, you can see your options in one place, filter for what matters most, and make a decision that fits your trip. Even if it feels confusing at first, taking a few minutes to set this up is going to give you such peace of mind while you're abroad. Again, if you want to learn more about Visitors Coverage, that link is down in the description for you. Comparing policies in one place is just going to be so much easier than chasing down every insurer individually, and it can save you a ton of time. That wraps up this video. This channel is dedicated to helping you understand insurance in simple, clear terms so you can make smart choices for yourself, your family, and your future. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and leave any comments or questions below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.